Alright, the My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission movie got its final trailer and it's pretty hype, so let's break it down. Also, big shout out to Audrey for translating. A link to her Twitter will be in the description below. To start things off, right at the beginning of the trailer, we see the Humorized cult all chanting for the salvation of mankind. Then Fleckturn, aka the main villain of the movie, says, "We, the members of Humorized, must take action, even if we must taint the world with blood. Shall we begin?" When he says that, we see him hold a book called The Quirk Doomsday Theory, which this book and this theory is the main reason why the events in this movie are even happening. We also get to see somewhat of the size of Humorized, and they are literally squad deep. After this, we get to see a shot of All Might at the headquarters, and we get to see all of our favorite Japanese pro heroes and what could be them being transported to the headquarters, since we see that they aren't with their worldwide teams yet. In the next shot, our main trio is looking kind of bummed out, like if they just heard some bad news. Judging by Deku's outfit, this scene has to take place on Ocean. After this, Fleckturn continues to say, "The salvation of mankind." As we hear him saying this, we see that right under his eye is glowing, and I believe this has something to do with his quirk, but as of me making this video, we still don't know what his quirk is. The next shot shows one of the EDO trigger bombs being set off and causing tons of civilians and a hero's quirk to go wild, and they aren't able to control them. Thanks to episode 104, we learned that the chemicals that are used for making the quirk boosting drug trigger is being used in the EDO trigger bombs, which is most likely overdosing these people, causing their quirks to go wild. This is also most likely the event that Deku gets blamed for in the movie, since right after we see the destruction caused by the bomb and the people's quirks, we see the news report showing that Deku is a mass murderer. As we know from the synopsis of the movie, Deku being a wanted criminal will be short-lived, because Humorized soon after comes forward and takes credit for what happened. In the next shot, we have Todoroki and Bakugo taking a train together, and Todoroki says, "What did you do?" most likely referring to Deku being a wanted criminal. After this, we see a tunnel blowing up, which could be the bomb from earlier blowing up from under the city. It then transitions to Roddy running on top of rooftops and sliding down a railing holding a briefcase with his bird sidekick called Pino flying right behind him. Now, from what I know, we don't know what's inside of the briefcase, but it could be important, since in the second trailer we actually see Roddy and Deku fight over the briefcase, so the briefcase could be related to Humorized in some way. We then see that the police is after him, most likely because of that briefcase. As the police are about to open fire, we see Deku save Roddy. We then get some shots of Deku and Roddy falling off of the bridge, and Deku using Black Whip to swing through the town with Roddy. Roddy then realizes that Deku is the killer that has been on the news, and now that he was saved by him, people are going to think that he is Deku's accomplice. After this, we get tons of quick shots. One shot shows Roddy putting his hand on Deku's shoulder. I think maybe he put some sort of tracking device on him, but there really isn't a lot to go off on since it's just his hand on his shoulder. Next, we see Deku messing with some sort of device, and I think this is actually him removing the battery from his phone so that he can't be easily tracked down. The next shot then shows Deku's hand in front of some fire with Bakugo saying related to Humorized, and this scene could be Deku in the aftermath after the EDO trigger bomb went off. Next, we see Fleckturn being frustrated about something. The next shot shows someone's hands holding a piece of hardware and a chip falling into their hands. Not sure what this shot could be related to, but most likely has something to do with Humorized. Next, we see Bakugo putting on his gauntlets, which looks awesome. After this, we get a shot of two of the Humorized villains. In the background, we can see Citaro, a villain from the Humorized soldier troops. His quirk allows him to create iron balls, and he fights by flicking them. Judging by the other person's hands, the other villain in this shot is Barros, who grabs 4 of Citaro's iron balls. Yes, I know how that sounds. The next shot shows Deku looking like he is about to throw hands in his casual clothes, with him saying Humorized is involved. Next, we see a speeding car get bodied by the back of a truck. Whoever was driving that car definitely got isekai'd by Truck-kun. We then hear that there is a state of emergency and that Humorized has started broadcasting online. In this shot, we see Barros with Citaro in a helicopter shooting her bow and arrow towards the bridge that Deku and Roddy fell off of earlier in the trailer. trailer, hitting a car, making it flip over. Okay, while editing I came to realize that Barros was actually shooting at Deku and Roddy, and she's most likely chasing them down to get whatever is inside of that briefcase from this scene in the bridge in the second trailer. Now, Barros is a villain from the Humorized group and is loyal to Flecht. Her quirk lets her turn her hand into a bow and allows her to control the objects she shoots out of it. The next shot shows Bakugo and what looks to be him holding two swords between his gauntlet. Now, as we see later in the trailer, this is him fighting the Serpenters, who are identical twin brothers that are a part of the Humorized group. The older brother's name is Enna and the younger brother's name is Dio. Wait, is that a JoJo's reference? Their quirk allows them to create several Galliant swords. The next shot shows Todoroki's hand with his ice breaking from some sort of twister-like attack. And as we'll see later on in the trailer, this is Todoroki fighting Leviathan, who is another villain from the Humorized group. Now, the description for him reads, "The power he has with that big frame is tremendous. His quirk allows him to create a powerful water current twist." After this, we see the other members of the Humorized group most likely attacking the heroes with their quirks and guns. Next, we see All Might at the WHA General Headquarters witnessing the broadcast, and we get to see exactly where Humorized planted all of their bombs. After this, we see some flames smacking the side of a wall, and I'm really not sure what's going on in that shot. Then we get a closer look at the Edio Trigger bomb itself getting armed. After this, we get a cool shot of Leviathan fighting Todoroki. Then we see Fleck turn in what looks to be in some underground lair, as well as a nice close-up of Fleck turn saying that our heroes have a time limit of only 2 hours before the salvation of mankind begins. Next, we see Todoroki using his ice and saying, "Let's go Bakugo," and Bakugo says, "I'll show you my true power." Do I smell a Bakugo and Todoroki team up? That would be insane. The shot following this shows Deku throwing a punch, and if you look at the background, the Todoroki, Bakugo, and Deku shots seem to take place in the same area, so we could see all of them teaming up to fight Fleck turn. After this, we get some cool shots of Todoroki in his fight with Leviathan and Bakugo in his fight as well, with All Might saying, "I'm counting on you heroes of the future." Next, we get a shot of Endeavor in a fight, while we hear Fleck turn saying, "Quirks are a disease, we will purge this world." We also see Hawks flying over a city, and we know that this has to be somewhere in the USA, and judging by the world map of where all the bombs are placed, it looks like Hawks and Tokoyami will be in the east coast of the US. In the next shot, we see a brand new hero called Clairvoyance, riding on top of another pro hero's back who looks like a flying squirrel, which is pretty cool. Now, Clairvoyance is a pro hero from Ocean, who is in charge of investigating the Humorized group with Endeavor and company, so we will be seeing a lot of her in the movie. Her quirk, called Voyance, allows her to see through everything, even walls, within a certain radius. Her quirk is very useful during searches. Fleckturn then continues to say, "and purify mankind," while we see Gang Orca and his boys using echolocation. After this, we see Roddy witnessing a fight, and the next shot after that, we see the Serpenters, which is then followed by a nice shot of Leviathan. We then see Fleckturn using his quirk to open a bunch of these mirror-looking things, and like I said earlier, we still don't know what his quirk is, so we can't be too sure as to what he is doing in this shot. We also hear Fleckturn saying to save the world from destruction, as we see him getting ready to fight Deku. The next few shots show Sero and Mineta, Kirishima getting punched, Uraraka, Jiro, Froppy dodging an attack, the homeboy Sugar Man, Tentacle, Momo throwing hands, Todoroki in his fight with Leviathan, Bakugo in his fight with the Serpenters, an All Might flashback, and a beat up Deku in his fight with Fleckturn. Following this, we get another Bakugo scene showing him fighting the Serpenters, with him saying, "You think I will actually give up?" And then, I shit you not, we see a shot of Todoroki falling into someone's mouth, which it looked hilarious but badass at the same time. We then see Fleckturn and Deku throw a punch at each other with a nice shot of Roddy looking outside of a window right after. Then we immediately see Fleckturn and Deku's fists clash. Now this to me is very interesting because when they clash fists and we see the shockwave, we actually see those mirrors end up on Deku's side, causing this sort of ripple effect from both sides. This to me definitely feels like Fleck-Turn's quirk has something to do with taking the impact of an attack and sending it back to his opponent, which would make sense as to why Fleck-Turn seems to be stronger than Deku, or at least on equal footing with him in terms of strength, and why in the next shot Fleck-Turn doesn't seem to take any damage from Deku's attack. After this, we get a shot of Roddy, and finally, to end the trailer, Deku says, "Break through your limits," and jumps towards the screen and punches. Now, this trailer was insane, and there's still so much that we really don't know about when it comes to Fleck-Turn or just the story as a whole, and I'm super excited to see this movie when we get that worldwide release. But the lucky folks in Japan get to see the movie first on August 6th, which is right around the corner. Also, quick side note, I'm really curious to know where the new costumes were at in this trailer, because I feel like I didn't see any of the new costumes at all when I watched the trailer, but there is a possibility that they probably got edited out for the trailer. With that said, let me know your thoughts on the final My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission movie trailer in the comment section below. What did you guys think about the trailer? Did it get you extra hyped to see the movie? Let me know everything in the comment section below. That is all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to Detroit smash that like button below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. And if you want to see more My Hero Academia content and want to stay up to date on the World Heroes Mission movie, then be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on to join the Kitoroki Hero Academia to become my hero. Remember to stay plus ultra, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.